So to initialize the value of instance variable we do have the two way, दो तरीके हैं. एक तो आप कंस्ट्रक्टर के थ्रू इनिशियलाइज कर दो. Either you can create the zero param constructor object, you can create through the zero param constructor, and through the setter method you can initialize. So we do have the two way to initialize the value of roll number and name. Okay. So is there any question related to constructor, guys? What is the use of constructor, or I mean difference between parameter constructor and zero param constructor and parameter constructor?
No, sir.
So let me create the one of object here, a student, and we can get to know some more here. Student, and I'm creating the two variables in this string name, or either I can take private, or I can private string name, private int okay. So two variable I have taken, so I can initialize these variable with the help of constructor. Public, no need to record auto by default. Whatever modifier of this class, that will become the modifier of this constructor. Okay. So int number comma string name, and we can initialize through the this dot roll number is equal to roll number, this dot name is equal to name. So this is a way to initialize the value of instance variable through the constructor we are initializing. For example, I am creating the, either I can create here or I can create in another class the object of it, and from there I can initialize. But the problem is if I'm using here private keyword, or suppose let me try to do here, I'm creating main method, and student S1 is equal to new student, while I need to pass here 101 comma, for example, Durga. So what will happen? In a heap memory, one object will create, and the value of these two variables, it will get 101 and Durga. Student S2 is equal to new student, and here we are passing 102 comma. So two objects we have created, and those object it is pointing the here. Okay, this variable is not in use, so let me use here S1 dot name. So anyone can tell what is going to print? What would be the output?
Durga. 101 Durga. Sir, Durga.
How 101 it is going to print? Even I did not access roll number.
Sir.
So this is, I access only name. Okay, I access only name. So if I'm concatenating here, simultaneously I can put some, and let me put here S1 dot roll number. Now tell me what is going to print.
101 Durga.
Let me run it. It's not printing the roll number. What happened?
सर वो आप डिक्लेयर जहाँ किए रोल नंबर का स्पेलिंग बताऊंगा.
There is a spelling mistake, right? Right.
लाइन नंबर 9 पे सर.
Line number 9. Okay. So हुआ क्या होगा? Now what happens? Currently अभी क्या हुआ होगा? The value which we pass 101, it went in this. और इससे वैल्यू हमने इसमें तो सेट की नहीं है, तो इसको JVM क्या करेगा? Default value it is going to assign. So what default value it assign?
0.
0. So I need to make this variable is a now I think earlier it was giving the warning also. See, Control Z. See, it's giving the warning. Now let me put here Control by. Okay, now I will get 101 Durga. And let me do one more thing here. S2 dot roll number plus S2 dot name, and this is printing the value of 102 Raghu. What happen if I am moving this from this to another class? अगर मैं यहाँ से इसको if I am removing from here and I am moving this to student client, and this contain public static void when I am moving here.
अब क्या होगा, हमने प्राइवेट वेरिएबल लिए हुए हैं और प्राइवेट वेरिएबल का जो एक्सेस होता है वो विद इन अ क्लास होता है.
Absolutely. Outside
तो
class.
अब हमें सेटर गेटर यूज करने पड़ेंगे, तभी हम फाइट कर सकते हैं वैल्यू और तभी सेट कर सकते हैं.
सेट तो कर सकते हैं चांद. आई थिंक सेट वी कैन सेट थ्रू द constructor also, right? Set there is to setting the value we have two way, no? Either setter method or the constructor we can use, but to getting we do have a private property outside the class, we have to access through the getter method only. So we can create setter and getter. It's quite easy. Right click there, go to source. But better है कि आप manually create and you try to understand how like we can create. So we can create one setter for this roll number and one getter for this roll number. Okay. So think about.
पहले सर गेटर से ही देख लेते हैं, सेटर बाद में यूज कर लेंगे.
Okay. So how for roll number I want to write the getter. What would be the syntax for it? First of all, modifier public, then getter. For the getter, will it return anything?
Yes, sir.
It's giving the output, right? It's giving the output. So what kind of value it's giving?
Integer.
So number is string.
Roll
Integer
number
is string.
it is putting the integers. We are putting here int and get
roll number.
And we can use here.
Parenthesis.
Will it take anything input from us? Will it take anything input from us? Will it take, while we are getting the value, will it take anything from us? क्या इनपुट लेगा हमसे कुछ?
No, sir.
No.
तो इसका आर्गुमेंट क्या रखेंगे हम लोग? 0.
Return
we will
roll number.
So this is returning. Okay. Now we can see, we can check for it. Okay, here what we need to do, s1 dot
Get roll number.
we got this method here. Okay, now get method for name also we can write. Get methods for the name we can write. Okay, public
String.
public
String.
string
get name.
Now what I can do, I can use here not only name, I can use here get name. Private property, if I want to access from outside, I will use here get roll number. Okay,
तो
तो
हमें कंस्ट्रक्टर यूज करने का एक फायदा हुआ, हमें सेटर 2 मेथड बनाने पड़ता है और हमने एक ही कंस्ट्रक्टर में दोनों को जो है सेट कर दिया।
बट इसका एक ड्रॉबैक भी है। ड्रॉबैक क्या है कि अगर आपको इफ यू वांट टू सेट द वैल्यू पार्शियली अगर सेट करना है, you want to set the value only name, roll number you do not want to set, or you want to set only roll number, you do not want to set the name. तो ये this is going to force us, तो इसमें partially इंजेक्शन नहीं कर सकते. लेट मी शो यू. अदरवाइज उसके लिए फिर वन पैरामीटर कंस्ट्रक्टर बनाना होगा. स्टूडेंट S3 is equal to new student. I want to set only this. So this I can't do. Partial नहीं कर सकता, half नहीं कर सकता. Okay. If I want to this, तो मुझे एक ID के साथ पैरामीटर कंस्ट्रक्टर बनाना होगा. If I want to only name I want to set, तो एक set के लिए पैरामीटर कंस्ट्रक्टर बनाना होगा. Okay. So to overcome this problem, we do have the setter also. Through the setter also we can do. Let me try to tell you. Now, एक तो हम लोगों का both property I do have this ना. So how I want to set the value only roll number. So student, I have to make like this int roll number, and here I need to put what I need to put here. This dot roll number is equal to roll number. Okay. Now what happened? See, now I'm able to set only one value. Why it's giving the error? Here the extra bracket. Okay. So now if I want to add only name, but that is going in a different object. It is not possible to say add the value in a S3 if I want to know name. So again this would be the problem here. Okay. Student, I have to take the another variable here. S3 S4. Now I am adding here some value here. Rabi, again the problem here. So again for the name also I need to create another constructor here. Name is equal to name. So this I can do like this. So to overcome this problem, what we can do, guys? To overcome this problem, creating multiple constructor, what we can do? We can create the setter. We can create the setter here. So now I want to write the setter for roll number. So modifier I will use here public Okay, now guys, for this setter, will it return anything? Will it give anything? Set में कुछ हमें ये output देगा?
No.
No.
If it is not returning, then void name and okay. Will it take input from us?
this dot ये जीरो पैरामीटर है ऐसा नहीं इसमें
obviously it will take the value from us int.
Int. This dot roll number, particular number.
Now again I want to write the setter for this. Get name public void and set
तो सर पहले सेट वाला मेथड रन होगा हमारा, बाद में गेट वाला होगा।
नहीं, ये डिपेंड करता है कि आप कॉल क्या कर रहे हो, है ना, व्हाट यू आर कॉलिंग, है ना, आपका कॉलिंग का ऑर्डर क्या है उस पर डिपेंड करेगा। इट डजंट मैटर कि गेटर पहले है कि सेटर पहले है। यहाँ से जब आप जिसको कॉल करोगे ना, the method which you are calling now, that is going to execute.
Suppose that we are calling to name. So you know that, sir. I think the set method will be called first.
You want to set name, right?
Yes.
So obviously set name will call. So it depends how you are calling, you know, then it is going to execute. So it is public void set name, and this will take the input from us. This dot,
अगर हम सेटर मेथड ना बनाए और डायरेक्ट गेटर मेथड यूज कर लें मैन मेथड के अंदर,
directly which method?
गेटर वाला मेथड यूज करते हैं, वो हमें नल वैल्यू दे देगा।
Default, correct. Whatever value जब set नहीं किया है, if you did not set through the constructor से अगर आपने set नहीं किया है तो then we will get the null value, or in roll number we will get something 0. But if we have set, then we will get the original value. If we did not set, so we have to we will get the default value. So how we will get, उसके लिए अगर हमें proper setter use करना है, तो I want to set the value, so I will create the object through the zero param constructor. S3 is equal to new student, and I can create, now see, but I have to create the zero param constructor. So here I have to create one zero param constructor. So I have to create the zero param constructor. Okay. Now in S3 I want to set something. S3 set roll number, and I am putting here 103. Value I am putting some finish. Not in there. And S3 dot set name, and here I need to put what it, guys. Okay, so I think we understood how things are running. So what is the use of constructor, guys? The use of constructor to initialize the value of instance variable. Okay. So object creation is not enough. Compulsory we should perform initialization. Then only that object is in position to provide response properly. One more point here कि अगर मैं पैरामीटर कंस्ट्रक्टर यहाँ पे नहीं बना रहा हूँ, if I'm not creating parameter constructor, तो मुझे जीरो पैरम भी बनाने की नीड नहीं है। कंपाइलर डिफॉल्ट क्रिएट कर लेता है जीरो पैरम कंस्ट्रक्टर, बट वंस वी क्रिएट एनी ऑफ पैरामीटर कंस्ट्रक्टर, फिर ये जीरो पैरम नहीं बनाएगा। वी हैव टू explicitly we need to create the zero param constructor. Remember, this is very important point. Yeah.
सर अभी हमने जीरो पैरम कंस्ट्रक्टर बनाया था और हम उसमें आर्ग्यूमेंट पास कर दे रहे थे।
नहीं, जीरो में कहाँ पास कर रहे हैं हम लोग? जीरो पैरम कंस्ट्रक्टर में कुछ भी पास नहीं है जी।
तो
आई
उसका
एम नॉट
यूज क्या
पासिंग
था फिर
एनीथिंग।
यहाँ बनाने का?
यूज, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? तो ये डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू, आई मीन जीरो पैरम कंस्ट्रक्टर वी आर क्रिएटिंग, तो व्हाट विल हैपन, ये डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू इनिशियलाइज कर देगा, नेम एंड रोल नंबर। नाउ थ्रू द सेटर मेथड आप इसको पार्शियली वैल्यू इसमें सेट कर सकते हो कि S3 के अंदर आपने 103 सेट कर दिया, तो वो जो जीरो डिफॉल्ट मिला था वो रिप्लेस हो जाएगा 103 से। सो नेम यू आर सेटिंग हियर दिनेश, so null will replace with the Dinesh. Okay, so if I'm writing this only this line, agar if I'm writing only this line, let me show you here. So if I'm writing only this line, if I'm writing only this line, then what will happen? इसके अंदर क्या आएगा? Here it will come, default value will come 0, roll number का और इसका null. Now when I use these two line, ये जो two line मैंने use की, because of these two line, what will happen now?
ये वैल्यू अपडेट कर देंगे
Absolutely.
103 और दिनेश।
Benefit क्या है इससे? Partial, if you want to inject to the setters, we can do that. Only roll number we can add. We do not want to add here the name, so that we can do. But constructor, parameter constructor से partial, it will become very difficult. Okay. So this will come 103 and here it will come Dinesh. Some hash code would be here and this S3 is holding this hash code because of this. So I hope you understand. So the story you need to remember, अगर zero param constructor, any of parameter constructor we are not creating. So default compiler will create zero param constructor. Even single parameter constructor we are creating, then actually it is not going to create. फिर हमें, if we want, so manually we need to create. Okay. So I hope you understand the meaning of constructor. Constructor का नाम और class का नाम क्या रहने वाला है?
सेम सर।
सेम।
और इसकी जो विजिबिलिटी है, जो क्लास की विजिबिलिटी होगी, दैट वी कैन कीप इट विजिबिलिटी ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्टर। प्राइवेट भी कर सकते हैं, इफ वी वांट टू अचीव द सिंगल टर्न प्रोटेक्टिविटी भी कर सकते हैं, तो इट डिपेंड ऑन अवर रिक्वायरमेंट। ओके ओके, द नेक्स्ट थिंग, व्हेनेवर this I think we understood. Okay, इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक वर्सेस कंस्ट्रक्टर। सो इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक हमने कल देखा था कि इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक would execute at the time of object creation. So there is a static block, there is a instance block. So at the time of object creation, okay, so sorry guys, at the time of object creation, if you want to perform initialization of instance variable, we should go for constructor. ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएशन के टाइम पे अब अगर आपको इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल इनिशियलाइज करने हैं तो वी कैन गो फॉर कंस्ट्रक्टर. सो हाउ we see this, how we are initializing like this. Okay, the other than initialization activity, if we want to perform any activity at the time of object creation, then we should go for instance block. Initialization के अलावा something else you want to do कि ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएशन के टाइम पे कुछ एक्टिविटी आपको करना है, यू वांट टू प्रिंट समथिंग, सो वी कांट रिप्लेस कंस्ट्रक्टर विद इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक को रिप्लेस कर दो कंस्ट्रक्टर से या कंस्ट्रक्टर को रिप्लेस कर दो इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक से, सो दैट वी कैन नॉट डू. constructor can take argument whereas instance block can't take any argument. So let me show you this. अगर मैं यहाँ पे instance block create कर रहा हूँ, okay, I'm creating one instance block, so it does not take any argument. Okay, I can put here some message instance block, ये मैंने लिखा, तो आप बताइए guys ये कितने बार execute होगा, how many times this block is going to execute. As per the definition we are saying कि object create
So,
होगा
3 times.
because 3 times object we are creating. So this is going to execute at 3 times. Let me run it. See, instance block, instance block, instance block. Okay, जितने number of times आप object create करोगे उतने number of times आपका instance block would be executed. Okay, but this is not a replacement of constructor because it does not take any argument. We cannot initialize the value of instance variable through the constructor. Sorry, through the instance block. Can't replace constructor with instant block because constructor can take argument whereas instance block can't take any arguments. Similarly, we cannot replace instance block with constructor because a class can contain more than one constructor. So if we want to replace instance block with constructor, then in every constructor we have to write the instance block code because at the time of at runtime which constructor will call we can't expect. ये भी हम पता नहीं कर सकते. It result duplicate, creation maintenance problem. So vice versa also we cannot do. Okay, so okay, here is a constructor of test class, another constructor of test class, and we create instance only once required. Rule to define constructor. Constructor define करने के rules क्या हैं? The name of class and the name of constructor must be matched. दोनों का name क्या होना चाहिए? Same. Return type concept not applicable. Yes.
हेलो
Yes.
सर, मैं पूछना चाह रहा था सर कि इसमें कंस्ट्रक्टर और ये इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक दोनों सेम ही काम करते हैं कि अलग अलग इनका मतलब
अलग अलग
initialization के लिए ही होते हैं दोनों?
नहीं सेम नहीं, अलग अलग काम करते हैं, है ना. वो कंस्ट्रक्टर का यूज क्या है अभी पहले देखा था. यूज ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्टर टू इनिशियलाइज द वैल्यू ऑफ इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल. इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल को वैल्यू हम क्या कर रहे हैं? कंस्ट्रक्टर के थ्रू इनिशियलाइज कर रहे हैं. सी सो
इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक के थ्रू भी तो करते हैं.
हाउ यू विल डू दैट? इंस्टेंस ब्लॉक से आप कैसे इनिशियलाइज करोगे? हाउ यू कैन डू दैट? मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने यहाँ पे ये हटा दिया. आई एम रिमूविंग दिस. ओके, आई एम रिमूविंग दिस. और फॉर एग्जांपल आई डू हैव दिस, है ना. सो इसमें वैल्यू कैसे जाएगा? हाउ वी कैन गिव द वैल्यू? इसका कोई आर्गुमेंट तो है नहीं इधर, पैरामीटर तो है नहीं इसके अंदर एट कॉलिंग करते समय, और वी कैन इनिशियलाइज द वैल्यू. हाउ वी कैन डू दैट? तो दैट एक्चुअली थिंग्स विल बिकम एट रन टाइम. इसको हम कैसे वैल्यू इनिशियलाइज करेंगे? ऑब्जेक्ट वी आर क्रिएटिंग, but how we can initialize the value of it. So this will become very difficult. Okay, so some message you want to do, give, or some other activity you want to perform, for that purpose we can do. Yes
सर ये प्रोग्राम आपको सर ग्रुप में शेयर कर देना चाहिए प्रैक्टिस के लिए.
yes
सर फिर अपडेट करना चाहिए.
yes let's
सर आई थिंक सर मैं उस ग्रुप में नहीं हूँ मॉर्निंग वाले.
Okay, I'll add you. So okay, so
Sir, maybe
who is not in the group? Let me add you all. So we do have the group November. Just give me a minute. Add members. I think now you got the access. And I'm sharing this program with you, then we'll make some changes as per our requirement. Okay, तो ये एक दूसरे का replacement नहीं है, remember this. Instance block is not of constructor, and constructor is not a replacement of instance block. Okay. So the rule to define the constructor, the name of the class and the name of constructor must be matched. Return type of constructor is not applicable. Constructor के लिए कोई return type नहीं लगाते हम लोग. Even void also, void भी नहीं लगाते हम लोग. Okay. By mistake, if we declare return type for the constructor, we won't get any compile time error क्योंकि constructor तो run time पे execute होता है. Compiler will not give any error, but at the run time we will get error because compiler इसको as a method treat करता है. Okay. But class के नाम से method, I mean, so that is not a good practice. Okay. It is normal method की तरह treat होगा for the compiler, but for JVM it is treat as a constructor. So it is legal for, I mean, stupid to have method whose name is exactly same. So remember this, I mean, method का नाम हमें class के नाम से नहीं लेना चाहिए. Okay. The only applicable modifier for constructor are public, private, protected, default. So these modifiers we can use. If we are trying to use other modifier, we will get compile time error. Guys, can you mute yourself, please? Yeah, let me help you to mute. Okay. Okay. So the only applicable modifier for constructor are public, private, protected, default. Okay. Any modifier you are not using, that is a default. Protected we can use, private we can use, public we can use. If we are trying to use any other modifier, we will get compile time error saying modify, whatever modifier you have used is not allowed here. Okay. So in out of 4 modifiers, anyone we can use. Modifier here. Test constructor से पहले final modifier use किया तो final modifier is not allowed here. We will get this error at runtime. So I think till here we cover what is constructor, what is instance block, flow up, static control flow, and instance control flow we cover. Let me know if you do have any questions so far till here. Guys, anyone have any question related to this topic? Or do the practice and come with some questions so we can discuss more on it. Okay. So the next point here, see guys, this is very, very important design, one of design pattern that is called the singleton. So many stars you would see here. और अभी जो ग्रुप में आपको इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस you will see there also, you will see the singleton. So many times it comes as singleton. So singleton है क्या? What is the singleton?